Yeah, here I am. 5:01. Ready to have a little bit of that good old fun. Where's everybody? Robert is watching. Robo Puff is here with us. Oh, now there's 10 of you. Yeah. Welcome to the lair of the unimpeachable president for life. So I'm going to give you a better, different view this week. How's that look? Jimmy Repo live. Dave Sutton and Dave Preto are here. Just shoot up some cashews. Welcome everybody. I'll go ahead and get going. This is a hoodie. This is the back of the hoodie. The t-shirts that look like this are now, the pre-order is now live on ANTiSEEN.com. Now, I'm getting the impression that a few out there don't quite understand this whole pre-order business yet. I will see if I can explain before it makes any sense. Okay. If 30 people buy a extra large of that design, at the end of the pre-sale, which I think is February 16th, yeah, it'll be on a break on through where it ends. If 30 people buy XL, then I'm going to order 30 XLs. Not 40. So that, you know, when you realize you missed it, and you go, oh, I should have got one. Hey, do you got a extra large laying around? The answer will be no. I don't have an extra large laying around. I'm doing this to avoid having stock. Do you understand? I hope you understand. I might start doing some old shirts. Like some of the old ones, like Blood of Freaks, Leatherface, The Gun. Let me know. Y'all don't talk to me much on private messages. I ask you to. Tell me what you want to hear about. Tell me what shirts you want to see us put on a pre-sale. Not all your ideas will be done, but, you know, better throw some in there. But, Green Monster, pre-sale, ANTiSEEN.com until February 16th. Available in sizes small all the way to 5X. How about that? Well, there's Trusty Nathan Trusty. You say you're sick as a dog. You got that good old COVID-19 going on there, Bo? Yes, Venus, it's the old Leatherface with the chainsaw. Well, guess what I'm going to talk about today? I've decided to go ahead and go on through with talking about the COS. But I can tell you right now, it's going to be more than just one part. I touched the camera again. I won't do that no more, hopefully. I imagine this might be a 3 or 4-parter, okay? Because I'm going to be thorough. I'm going to try to be, like normal. I'm going to try to be as diplomatic as possible. I will try to give credit where credit is due. I will try to properly put blame where the blame is due. The COS. For some of you that listen to Slayer and stuff like that, it does not mean the Church of Satan. Okay? It was an organization called the Confederacy of Scum. I would say it probably began around 1991. But first, the main core of it didn't start until we went on the Natural Disasters United States tour. Now, there is a break on through that talks about that tour, but the whole entire episode is about that tour. So, if you go to our brand new YouTube page, ANTiSEEN Official, there's not a lot of subscribers on there, man. Would y'all go in there and subscribe? Malcolm Tent's working hard on it, man. He's Minister of Propaganda. He's trying to get all the break on throughs, all the shoot interviews, and meanwhile getting music. Trying to find some of the best music videos of us. And if you have any in particular that you like, send those to Malcolm in his private message. And if you would share the news about our YouTube thing. We got like, I don't know, 600. Come on, man. 600? Come on, man! So, before the Confederacy of Scum story begins, I have to tell you what we were up to at that point. We were people calling me when I'm doing break on through. They all know I'm doing break on through on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock, but that's when they pick the call. Stop calling me. Someone just asked who wrote Sabu Barry. Okay, now we had found at this point one band that was like a like our tag team partner band. And at the time they were from Portland, Oregon. They're called Rancid Vat. When I say they were our tag team, like our brother band, did they sound like us? No, not at all. I won't waste a lot of time trying to explain what rancid vat is. Hopefully most of you on here know who rancid vat is. If you don't, then you need to do a crash course. There's a lot of different eras of rancid vat, much like there is of ANTiSEEN. But everyone's got their favorite, and but anyway, this was the early '90s. You know, we'd been friends with them since the late '80s, and we were always on the lookout for like-minded bands and fanzines and labels and artists. Well, we hit pay dirt when we went to Lawrence, Kansas in 1991, Natural Disasters Tour. It wasn't named that before we started. It was named that after we got home. But I've told the story several times about us meeting Cockneys, but I'm going to have to touch on that again because it's very important to the history of the COS. You know, I've told the story about how we ended up in Lawrence. You know, this is before GPS, before cell phones. It's when real men toured. Not computer eggheads. Men. Exploring uncharted territory. No GPS map to show us what it's going to look like above. No. We pull up on it. And we're like, oh, so this is the infamous outhouse. In this gigantic field of nothing. Yep. Well, we have nowhere to go. So we park, and we're just waiting for someone to show up. Well, someone does show up. It would be a young fellow by the name of Justin Crockett. Now, a slightly older than him fella named Devin Ward. You know them better as the Widowmaker and Commander P.P. Urano. Well, these dudes pull up and they get out, you know, and we're just all out there shooting the shit and all. And man, it's not the usual shit shooting session. These guys are impressed as hell that we come from Charlotte, North Carolina. You know why? It's not because they wanted to get into banking or they were, you know, interested in NASCAR, even though I felt we could have had a little side gig going masquerading the Widowmaker as Kyle Petty, you know, like to sign pictures for $10 or $20. But a missed opportunity, I guess. But they were happy that we were from Charlotte because it was the home of Nature Boy Ric Flair. Can I get some woos out there? Anyone got a woo for old JC? I see a thumb. Well, anyway. So, as we continue talking to these guys, man, we realize, you know, these guys are like right up our alley, man. They like wrestling. You know, we're talking about all kind of stuff. They like the same kind of shit we like the same kind of music, you know, for the most part. And and so then, you know, comes time for the show, and we see them play, man, and they knock us out, man. They blow us away. It's like, you know, and I guess I don't remember if it was at that show before we left or if it was later on the phone. Of course, we exchanged information and kept in touch. Because I wanted to know what, excuse me, I wanted to know what these guys were going to be up to, you know. And we were on Rave Records at the time, so our stuff was getting distributed pretty well. These guys had and knew about the Southern Hostility album. So, like I said, I don't know whether it was there or later. Widowmaker asked me if we'd be interested in joining this organization called the Confederacy of Scum. Well, you know I'm not a big fan of organizations, but I wanted to know who all's in this organization. Now, apparently it was started by the Widowmaker and Blag, Dahlia from the Dwarves. Now, whatever happened with that connection, Blag didn't seem to stay connected to that, and I guess Justin was wanting to still start it, so he asked me. And I figured, well, and if it's just us, you know, that's cool. And I was like, yeah, I'll be associated with you guys. I would like that. You know, we like you. We like you. We like what you're bringing to the people. We get back from the Natural Disasters tour, and I'm talking to my good pal, the Whiskey Rebel. Actually, we talked to him on the way out, and I told him about this band from Lawrence, Kansas, named Cocknews. I was like, man, you would not believe these guys. And I don't know how Justin and Whiskey Rebel got in touch. I don't know if it was Reb reaching for. See, I told you I needed to do some study. But you know how long it would be before this happened if we waited on me to do the study? It wouldn't happen. So I'm going to go with, much like a Joe Perry album, I'm going to go for what I know. That is a Joe Perry album, right? Go for what you know. But, you're saying something here. Right, we talked to him about Cockneys. Yep, right. Ness T. Goss. Ness T. Goss was on that tour. He saw this union happen. But at some point, you know, the Confederacy of Scum became Cockneys, ANTiSEEN, and Rancid Vat. Again, you wonder why. Because all y'all sound alike? No, we don't sound nothing alike. Cockneys didn't sound nothing like ANTiSEEN. Rancid Vat didn't sound nothing like ANTiSEEN. But we saw Cockneys as being Lawrence, Kansas's ANTiSEEN. Do you know what I mean by that? Not that they had to measure up to us, but that was our measuring stick. You know, and I guess we had hoped Gigi would decide to be part, but Gigi was he never wanted to be. You know, it was his thing, what he's doing. I respected that. But what happened shortly after that is our record releases would all be featuring a thing on the packaging that would say Confederacy of Scum approved. And one of the first labels to get that was Baloney Shrapnel, at the time out of Phoenix, Arizona, I think. because we had met Jeff Clayton prior. And Jerry Clayworth from Smiling Ear Records. Larry and Leslie from, I guess they were doing Steel Cage, but I think that came a little later. They ended up having every COS band on these labels. Smiling Ear, I think, maybe only had us. But we all released stuff through these labels. More about that as the story goes. You got a question. How many tours do we do with Gigi? We didn't do any. We'll do any tours with Gigi. Gigi performed on stage with us in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade. Me and Tom O'Keefe performed on stage with Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies at a couple shows. The most notable one, you can see us on the video. Gigi asked me, he's like, look, when I go into the crowd, drop the mic, I want you to keep singing. So the band keeps, chugging along. I don't know, I'm sure most of you have seen a Gigi Allen show when, the band held it down pretty good while Gigi was out creating mayhem. But that's as far as that went. We do have a performance video of Gigi doing, I don't know, 5 or 6 songs with us off the album we recorded with him. But that's it. That's all there was. But on to my story that I was already talking about. So, the first thing that kind of happened, see, this is where I really wish I had done a little bit of studying. I don't think we played any shows with Rancid Vat and Cocknoose at the same time until the first official COS show in '97. But there was one earlier that happened in Charlotte that had ANTiSEEN, Cocknoose, and Mad Brother Ward. And we called it a super show before we ever thought about, where we were going to go with this. And that was a legendary show. People still talk about it to this day. There has been an ANTiSEEN Poison Idea show. We have a record with Jerry A. on sale now. www.antiseen.com. Go get it before it's sold out and gone forever. Can you dig it? But that's the thing that happened next was the super shows. And I will talk to Justin before I get too damn far into this. But man, what it was, there was what I call the main three. Us, Cocknoose, Rancid Vat. That was the top tier right there. Then we started doing what was called initiation, where we would pick a new act to join. Does anybody know what the fourth group was to join the COS? Come on, you got to tell me something. All right, I'll spill the beans myself. Hell Stomper. Hell Stomper was 4th. Why? Because they were another one of our tag team. They were kind of like a little brother band. Did they sound like ANTiSEEN? No. Were they influenced by us? Yeah. But they had their own thing. They had their own thing. That's the thing about the COS, man. Every band had their own thing. But I'll talk about how it watered down. See, y'all are throwing up names long before they come into the story. I'm gonna hit it all. But you know, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I told you credit where credit is due. Justin, the Widowmaker from Cockneys, was numero uno in this thing. See the tip of the pyramid? That was the Widowmaker. And I guess the VPs were me and the Whiskey Rebel. I think that's how it worked. Now I'll talk to Justin after he listens to a little break on through. And if he feels I misrepresented the story or the organization or him, I will come back on here the following Tuesday and make it all right. Can you dig that? So I'm not going to let this. I'm not going to let the misinformation go out. It's going to be the way it was. Now I don't know how much time passed before the next initiation. And this is where I get a little bit mixed up. I believe that the next group initiated was Limecell from Philadelphia. Man, I don't know if I saw them play their first show, but it was one of their earliest shows when they opened for us at Upstairs at Nick's in Philadelphia when we opened for the Anti-Nowhere League. We played 2 shows with them. An afternoon all-ages show and a 21 and over show for later. Both were fun. Both were rough. I think the only other group that was on the bills would have been Blanks 77 played. And I do not remember if they played both shows, but I'm pretty sure they did. But, yeah, you know, Anti-Nowhere League's coming to one of our stomping grounds. Oh, yeah, ANTiSEEN's going to be playing. They're one of my favorite bands from that original punk hodgepodge from in Mario, England. I still like them. I don't like that one album that no one liked. I don't like that, but I like the other stuff a lot. But Limecell, it's like I remember, like Philadelphia was an ANTiSEEN town from the first time we ever went there, which had to have been 89. But man, it was always ANTiSEEN town. We always did well in Philadelphia. And there was always these dudes, you know, that would always hang around. And I used to see Kevin. Kevin probably saw the first time we ever played Philadelphia. He damn well may have seen it every damn time. I mean, I know he missed some later, you know, but remember early shows? Kevin was a fixture there. Kevin seemed kind of shy, though. I mean, he never talked to us. I mean, we, a little hello, how's it going, that kind of stuff as we're leaving and stuff, but that was all. But then, you know, here's this band Lime Cell. And here's that dude Kevin is the singer, you know, and it's just like, man, I'll go ahead and tell you, man, Lime Cell is one of my favorite live bands. They were consistent. We toured with them on the West Coast, man. I have personally never seen a bad Lime Cell show, and those guys could drink. They could drink like nobody's business, and I still never saw a bad Lime Cell show. And at the time, the original lineup was Kevin McCarthy and his brother Steve. There's Bobby on guitar, and Pat on drums, Pat Durkin. And I'll tell y'all, I've had the pleasure of playing with some really good drummers. Now, if your name don't pop up in this little short list right here, do not be offended, because I'm telling you, I've played with a lot of good ones. The ones that I'll put these guys against anybody. And you can say, oh, well, what about John Bonham? Yeah. Whatever John Bonham did in his lifetime, these guys could do it, and they could do it just as good. And that list includes Doug Throgmorton, Sir Barry Hannibal, and in a completely different style, my brother Greg Clayton. Three of the best drummers I know. But I'm telling you, we sat there watching Lime Cell singing Pat Durkin play. Me and Barry would just sit there going, looking at each other like, God. You know, and Barry was a drummer, and Barry's like, God damn, that guy's good, you know? Just like thunder. Loved it. But yeah, there's this, you know, quiet guy up there just like, rah! It was great to see, you know, and so I always felt like, you know, some kind of cub reporter out there. Since we were the band that toured, we'd find these groups, you know, and just be like, I'd report back to Widowmaker. Widowmaker, man, this band Lime Cell. You ain't gonna believe this shit, you know. And we're like, the bands that became part of it pretty much became part of it because they didn't have to ask. You understand what that means? That means that if you had to ask, chances are you were aping one of us too much. And I don't know, man. It's just it was a very strict quality control. I give Widowmaker all the credit for that. I mean, they were my suggestions, but they had to go through his thing, you know. Brad, was there a lot of aping? Yeah, there was a lot of aping. you know, you would, like, I've actually heard this, okay? Hey, man, my band wants to open for you guys. Oh, okay. Well, if you hear of us coming to town, you know, talk to a promoter, find out who the promoter is. Because, I mean, I didn't book every goddamn show, you know. Like, I didn't put all the opening bands. There would have been a lot of sad opening bands if I was in charge of putting them together. I can tell you that right now, Hans. But, yeah, you know, and then they'd say, oh, yeah, man, we do the whole bleeding thing, you know, and tearing our equipment up. And like, oh, so you do a flea market version of us. Not interested. So now you got ANTiSEEN Rancid Vat, Cock Noose, Hell Stomper, Lime Cell. And see, part of the thing was, man, we were trading records, right? Because, you know, even though each of us, we had this bond, just like, we were the first ones of the group, of the whole group of bands that went to Europe. And we went frequently. And, you know, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. We had a bigger audience of all of them at the time. And, you know, what we would do, we would trade each other's merchandise. We would, if it was Confederacy of Scum approved, we would bring it with us. So, you know, people are looking through ANTiSEEN singles, and here's a damn Cock Noose record, and here's a couple Lime Cell 7 inches, and, you know, some Rancid Vat. And that's the way we got the word out. By physically bringing it to the people. You know, and man, I mean, look, I still do a bit of that today. I don't do it with merchandise, but every time 90% of every time I send something out, it has stickers of people we endorse. Like, I guarantee you, you order something from me tomorrow or tonight, when I send the package out, I'm going to throw in, say, a sticker, a repo record, On the Mark shirts, TKO records, Mystery School records. That's the way we do it. Yeah, get the word out. Let people see. Let people know. Let people hear. And eventually it got to where we would let people see. The first of those big tours was ANTiSEEN and Cock Noose Second Amendment Tour. And you know what? That's where I'm going to leave you today. Second Amendment Tour. ANTiSEEN and Cock Noose. And I will be talking to Justin this week. You know why? Because Justin brokers my my patches. You know the patches you guys have been getting? The established 1983? I had 100 of them, like, I don't know, 8, 9 weeks ago. They're about gone. Been a good seller. They're good quality. All right, someone's saying something about the Second Amendment. Let's see what that is. Oh, yeah, Dean Assange. You don't have a Constitution if you don't have the Second Amendment. We could talk about current events, but you know what? I don't want to. Anyway. Did y'all watch Malcolm Tent's shoot interview? Part 3 of Mad Brother Ward was last Sunday. I listened to it. Yeah, I liked it. Man, I like listening to the other guy's point of view of how they say things went, and it's fairly accurate. Yeah. I don't know who Malcolm's got next. Malcolm, are you on here? Can you bring to the people knowledge of what's next on shoot interviews? Oh, I got to make a correction from last week. My main mang, Dave Prino, brought this up, and he was 100% right. I told y'all I hate pentagrams. I just think they're silly. Venom could use pentagrams. He brought up another band that can use pentagrams and get away with it. Savage Master. Why? Because they're like a Hammer movie set to heavy metal. And not that death metal nonsense, you know, good. I mean, I don't know if what they're doing is supposed to... I don't know enough about genres and subgenres. But I like that stuff, the new wave of British heavy metal. That's the kind of stuff I like. And I don't know, they remind me of that, you know, and I like a lot of those female-led metal bands like Bitch and Acid, and well, Girl School had all girls in it, and to me they sound more like a rock and roll band than a metal band. But what do I know? What do I know? I don't know nothing. But Green Monster pre-sale live now to February 16th. Don't wait till February 17th. Man, I need a 4X of that. Can't help you there, cowboy. That order's done. Hit the trail. What is this right here? Somebody asked something else here. Something about... This week, we were talking about the records that Mad Brother plays on. Oh, yeah. That's what you already talked about, wasn't it? I feel like I'm just talking to a blank screen now. Let me stop. Well, thanks for coming on into the house. Glad to have you. I hope everyone's doing well. Are you? Everybody doing okay? Old JC is doing good. Go get my MRI tomorrow for this old knee. Find out what's going down. Well, I appreciate y'all. I really do. And if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, we'll see you next Tuesday. And by the way, early this week, I had 12 of the final run of the Jeff Clayton Throbble arms. And they sold like that. Sold so fast that a couple of my main mangs, Bill Miskowitz from Wrath of Typhon, Lenny Mental, both wanting them a bobblehead and a bobble arm, a throttle arm, and I had to say they're out, y'all. But I talked to the main Mang at Agronautics and asked him, do you have like maybe 6 more you could, with that old JC, get from you? He's yet to get back to me, but hopefully I will be able to meet the need. I'm going to tell you what. One more thing. I want to say thank you to Mike Thrower. Old time fan, old time friend. Came over this weekend, helped around here like he was doing a newfangled version of that TV series, This Old House, man. He helping with all kind of stuff, because with the knee the way it is, I ain't climbing up on the ladders, and I can't get down and kneel and do stuff. So yeah, he came over and he was a huge help. Thank you, Mike. This is my public thank you to you. I am so grateful. So grateful that I have a lot of good people that will give their time and help me out especially when I'm not 100%. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for sitting in the house listening to old JC do what he knows how to do. And you know what that is? It's break on through.